25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Got a short interview about a really good book that you're going to love if you're heading out to the beach this weekend. Hey, first weekend we're seeing temperatures in the 90s. So this is, hey, you live close to the beach, go take advantage of the beach and the weather. Kimberly McCreight has written a book called The Outliers. It's a thriller novel. She herself is a New York Times bestselling author. We've had her on the show before. Last time you were on, Kimberly, you might remember that we spoke to me and Robin. Robin's not here today, and Joe Martone sitting in for Robin this morning. Good morning, Kimberly. How are you?
Good morning. Nice to speak to you again.
Oh, man, you've got a fan club here in Ocala. I don't know if you know that or not.
I don't. Now, with temperatures in the 90s, I think I need to come visit.
Why, where are you?
In Brooklyn, New York, where it is not 90.
Oh, okay. But it's pretty nice there, right? How's Brooklyn today?
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, during the winter, I was checking in on the New York cams just to see what the weather looked like. Because, when you live down here, you miss the snow, so...
Yeah, no, of course. It's double-edged, I suppose. We do have seasons, that's for sure.
You know what's interesting about I want you to tell the story about the book, so maybe I should say my comment later, but now that I said that. It's interesting the way your mind works, the way that you have people who are kind of in the dark about what other people want. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think that is that's a big part of so much of the why I write mysteries.
Oh, wow.
The gaps in understanding between people. I mean, that to me is like, the fact that a mystery is created, from your understanding of a situation as opposed to mine. There are those gaps.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of how we live, and I think that's how so much mystery is created, because we don't fully understand each other.
So do you have somebody in your life that is so close to you that you almost can finish each other's sentences?
Oh yeah, I feel like I have several, but definitely my oldest daughter is somebody where I can just I can tell you what she's thinking. I mean, and before she even has a change of facial expression, I can tell you. So yeah, for sure.
And that sort of describes Wiley and Cassie, correct?
Absolutely, they're best friends, and yeah. They've had tension in their relationship, but they have that closeness and that loyalty and that bond that kind of surpasses any immediate rift. So when Cassie calls upon Wiley for help, Wiley goes, despite the fact that she has some trepidation about it.
And this takes place up in Maine, and so give us the what do you say, like the movie trailer version of the story, so we can get a grip on this.
Yeah, well, the book opens in present-day Boston, and again, Wiley is the central character. She's struggling with a lot of anxiety, which has gotten worse since the recent death of her mother in a car accident. And the book opens with Cassie, her ex-best friend, sending this cryptic text saying she needs Wiley's help. And so she's forced to team up with Cassie's boyfriend, Jasper, who Wiley does not like, and the two of them head north into the woods of Maine in search of Cassie, and pretty quickly things go from bad to worse, and then when they finally get there, what they're expecting to find is not at all what happens. So that's really the crux of the mystery, but it's got a speculative element that deals with intuition and going on your gut and trusting your instincts.
Kimberly, I was curious about something. When we write today, when a writer writes today, you have to consider technology if the story is current day. So did she not have a phone?
She does have a phone, but if you've ever driven into the deep woods of Maine, you will know that... Oh,
there's no signal.
There's no signal a lot of the time. Having actually done the drive myself, we lost our GPS repeatedly.
Whoa.
So it does bring you back, being in places like that in the country, bring you back to a place where you're forced to rely on other things. So she does have her phone for a lot of it, and technology does play a big part of it. But so did the complexities of how much we can really rely on that technology. That's the piece of
that is interesting. Yeah, because even just 20 years ago, some of the story things you could write, or the things you'd have to stay away from, either way you look at it, weren't even a consideration.
Of course, and you do have to just deal with that, and particularly as a mystery writer, because a part of what you rely on as a mystery writer is what people don't know, and we know so much now. Whether you're like, why wouldn't the person just Google that?
Yeah, right.
You have to you do have to do that as a writer. You have to ask yourself, wait a second. And again, it helps to just live in the skin of the character, because you would find, if I was this person, I would do that. I would look it up. I would use GPS, and so if you want them not to be able to rely on that, you have to figure out a way to get that to happen.
We were talking yesterday about how an author can create a backstory to a character so that you're learning the current story, but you're also learning the backstory. Since you mentioned that they were ex-friends, does that come into the book? Do you bring up the backstory?
Absolutely, and I think that you're right. It's a really complicated balance because particularly as a mystery writer, when you're trying to write something fast-paced, you want to get that backstory in a way that really feels seamless, so a reader doesn't feel slowed down by that. Like you want to try to integrate it. So there are some flashbacks, a few, to Cassie and Wiley's relationship. So you also want to put enough of that in so you can care about the characters and feel their relationship. So it's a bit of a balance. But yes, you learn about what led up to this moment, and you get to see Wiley with her mom because her mom's no longer around, and so you get some of that in through these really kind of brief flashes into the past.
No, go ahead. I had one. Go ahead.
Well, I was just wondering how Jasper came. I mean, how did that decision come to mind? It makes it more mysterious for sure. So is that why?
Well, Wiley can't drive. She doesn't drive. She's anxious, and her mother died in a car accident, so she hasn't gotten her license. So there's a lot of reasons. I mean, there are reasons within the context of the story why Jasper's there. I mean, it makes sense that he would be there, and there are reasons why he's there. But there are reasons why, as a storyteller, I wanted him there.
All right. Now, as a mystery writer, let's not just dive into the content of the book, but as a mystery writer, do you write and then come to an ending, to the conclusion, or have you had the conclusion in your mind and then kind of back write it and end there?
Yeah, it's a combination of both. I know the end point, like if you say the whodunit or the
conclusion.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I would say I know that in a way that I could say it in a sentence. I won't.
No, please, no. That's why I said no, not the content. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah, so I know that, but I don't know the details of the how to get there. So that is figured out along the way. So it's kind of a tension between the two. So the spot I write to on the wall is really that ending, and that allows me to proceed without an outline because I know that's where I'm headed. But a lot of the working through and the working out of the details comes through revision because
all the twists and turns.
You can't figure all that out just in one go. I mean, it's going to be wrong. You're going to take some side roads that were not correct. So you need to kind of come back and course correct and tighten. I think about it like lacing up a boot. Like you're lacing, and then eventually you got to pull it tight. And so that's kind of the revision part where you cut things out and you go back and just start to tighten everything up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that hard? I mean, is it hard to make that decision?
Yeah, it's super hard.
I like that.
Whenever we get a Dean Koontz book, it's always so big. I always think, I wonder how big it was before he started doing that. They're always so huge.
Yeah. How long did it take you to write this?
It takes. They're on a fast schedule because young adult books come out one a year. So I wrote this in about a year, and the next one is actually finished. We're kind of moving into a revision stage, so that next book is finished. I wrote that in a year.
I like the way she said, only a year. That's a long time.
Yeah. It is a long time, but usually, with some books, people take 10 years to write them, so it feels fast to me. But yeah, I would say I write a draft in about 3 months, but then the revision, I mean revision before I even go to my editor, so I revise it so it makes sense. It takes another 5 months, and that's working 9 to 7 p.m. every day. I mean, that's working full time to make that happen. Yeah.
Kimberly, we have to. I know you have another interview coming up, so let me give this one away. I've got a copy of The Outliers here. Call me. It's a nice hardcover book that you can have, and just call me. It's 622-9622, and it's yours. The rest of us have to go buy it. Kimberly, first of all, am I saying your last name correct? Is it McCreight?
McCreight, yep.
McCreight, okay. Let me give this one away, and then we'll find out how to get the book. Good morning. You've got the book. Who's this?
This is Sharon Smith.
Sharon, do you know where we are?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you've got it. It'll be waiting for you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Sharon. And real quickly, Kimberly, do you have a website? Yes, you do.
Yes, it's my name, Kimberly McCreight, KIMBERLY, and then McCreight is MCCREIGHT.com, and there's all sorts of information on
Well,
there.
hopefully we introduced you to some new fans. I know you have some fans already out there. That might have been one right there. And Robin is one, by the way. She's just not here right now. Kimberly, thank you so much for being on the air with us today.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
We will take a break and be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be partly sunny and warm today. Thunderstorm in parts of the area Thursday afternoon. The high 86 at the coast, 92 inland. Fair skies Thursday night, low 65 inland, 72 at the coast. For Friday, sunshine mixing with clouds. A shower with thunderstorm popping up in the afternoon. The high 87 at the coast, 93 inland. For Saturday, partly sunny, high 85 at the coast, 93 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree